Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
A weekly podcast and YouTube channel where we discuss all things Wrexham AFC from the point of view of long-term fans and new fans.
So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in. Hello and welcome to episode 117 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC. Welcome to you. Welcome to me.
You.
Welcome to everybody. Busy week, done, dusted. And we are now in a very nicely new refurbished house.
It's not quite in order.
It's not quite in
There
order.
are a few little niggly bits.
I feel a lot less stressed than I did.
We have a new
week
carpet,
ago.
new sofa, new doors. It all looks very lush.
If the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube and it looks a little bit different, it's mainly because all of the equipment had to get stripped out of this room to get it to get redone, and then I've tried to reset it up as best I can with how it was before.
I mean, it looks exactly the same to me.
Yeah, but I'm not 100% sure, but yeah.
As long as we're on the camera, it doesn't matter, does it?
That is very true. And if you're listening to us on the podcast,
Doesn't even matter.
who cares?
So on this week's show, we look back at Saturday's game against Leyton Orient, where we drew. Boo. We answer some of your questions. We discuss Elliot Lee and James McLean. And we also discuss the up-and-coming games against Stevenage and Northampton.
Yeah.
And also the infamous quiz.
Yeah, so the old Tuesday games are starting up. There's Tuesday league
I'm excited.
games.
I like Tuesday games.
Yeah.
I know you don't like them as much.
No, not so much. I'm not a huge
They're a bit
fan.
awkward for you, aren't they?
A little bit, but you know,
I don't care. I
they're
finish at
here now.
3:30.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't care.
They're here now, so anyway, we've just got to get used to it. Look, if you want to support the show, you can buy me a coffee, and our Buy Me a Coffee page is Buy Me. I feel like I say Buy Me a Coffee too much in that, but anyway, buymeacoffee.com/me the wife. Yeah, much appreciated if you do that.
Somebody sent us a message the other day saying that we should call it Me, the Wife and a Brew. Oh, no, sorry. No. Scrap that. Buy me a brew.
Yeah, but that just confuses people because that's not what it's called.
It's called Buy me a coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I'll start my own up.
Yeah, maybe.
Buy me a cup of cha.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Look, Leyton Orient. Let's get on to that straight off the bat. So we had Mullin out, Marriott in. Mm-hmm. You were happy with that, though.
I was.
Okay.
At the beginning of the game. And then during the game, I was like, oh.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah,
I think I think it's probably one of his worst games that he's played.
I think that is very unfair of you to say that.
I know. Sorry, I love you, Marriott.
Because no, I do, because sometimes, and I sort of go back to the Birmingham game a little bit, and Parky's sort of instinct of what he wanted to do to change it up was he swapped the front two because the front two weren't really doing anything. But in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong and I see it differently, but sometimes I think when the front two aren't doing anything, it's mainly because they're not getting the opportunity to do anything. And perhaps the issues lie a little bit deeper on the field as opposed to, you know, oh, well, if we change the front two, it's going to change anything. It's not.
If they're not getting the ball,
we can't get the ball into the front two we've got. So never mind,
Yeah.
you know. So I think potentially.
All right, I'm sorry. I retract my statement.
You don't have to retract it. I'm telling you why I disagree with it.
You don't have to retract it. I'm just telling you why you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
It is what you actually
I am
mean.
not. I'm saying
Everyone
why.
knows I like Jack Marriott. I think he's an awesome player. He's been amazing for us in the first few games of the season.
He has.
But I mean, the game was dull anyway, to be honest. So
yeah, it wasn't.
I don't think it was just Jack that had an off day. I think they all did.
But
Leyton Orient was really good.
I don't think it was necessarily an off day for someone like Jack, because I think he did all the things that he normally does. But I just don't think the game went the way of, you know, we weren't getting it up to them as much, maybe.
No, maybe.
Early on, I think Richie Wellens, the Leyton Orient manager, I listened to his interview after the game. He's always very honest, and I think he's always pretty much on the money with what he says, really. He says in the early part of the game, probably should have been 2 or 3 up.
For them?
Yeah, and he said they couldn't really get a grip of it and sort of score the goals that they needed. In the second half, they started to sit back a little bit. We came into the game, we were on top. And, you know, we probably could have got something out of it. I mean, we'll break it down in a bit more detail in a minute, but I think that's probably a fair assessment, if I'm honest. He felt it was points dropped. But what he also said was, we would have felt like it was points dropped based on the last half an hour and how much of the ball that we had. But he said that, you know, they probably should have been out of sight at that point. Which I find it hard to disagree with anything that he said, to be perfectly honest.
I do disagree. I think they've had 2 good games out of the whole season so far. Well, one that I think beating Stockport 4-1. And the manager thinks that they're amazing.
But he's right.
No, he's not.
For his assessment of that game on Saturday, I think he's right.
Yeah.
You know, because early on they had a chance. That what their lad was pretty much, might as well say, clean through, and he dragged a shot wide. That should have been 1-0 to them. Definitely, 100%. I mean, he's clean through. He's not that far out, and he's just dragged his shot wide. And that was a bit of an alarm bell for me, because I started to think, oh, hang on a minute. And this was a team that was in form. Let's not forget that. Yes, they lost their first 4 games of the season, which surprised me looking at them when I saw them at the bottom, because they're a better team than that. They finished a lot higher last season. They were very good when...
Crossing my arms now.
Okay. They were very good when they were in League 2 the season before. So I thought it wasn't really a fair reflection on them. Since that, they've started to pick up points. They've drawn with Peterborough. They've beaten Stockport away. They also beat Shrewsbury. Who doesn't? I know. I get that. But, it's... and they were, unbeaten in 3, maybe 4, can't remember now. But they were unbeaten in 3, I think it was, before they played us. So they've started to find their feet, and they were at home. So it was one of them where you sort of go,
a lot of factors going against us as a team.
Yeah, pretty much. They definitely started the brighter. I would agree with that statement.
Started the what?
Brighter.
What's that?
Started brighter.
Oh. Sorry, it's just the way you said it. It didn't sound like a proper sentence.
Oh, okay. All right.
I thought yeah, anyway. Okay, yeah.
I mean, the second one thrown me a little bit.
Sorry.
They started brighter.
Didn't sound like you said that.
The brighter, I said. They started the brighter. Sorry.
That's why it didn't make any sense to me.
No, it did make sense. Basically, it was a condensed sentence. So.
Oh, right, okay.
So, that is an English language thing. I'm not just making it up. So, the full sentence is, they started the brighter of the 2 teams. So a condensed sentence means you just cut some of it off, but it still makes sense. Obviously not.
No, it didn't.
They started the brighter, okay, of the 2 teams.
If you'd said that, I wouldn't have questioned it. So anyway, let's carry on.
Anyway, they had a corner. They had a chance at the back post. Again, the lad, I can't remember who it was. The lad should have scored. He hit it. He could have hit it anywhere in the left half of the goal. That was another goal. He hit it straight at Okonkwo. Okonkwo didn't have much to do there, but still had to make the save. But
I was going to say, it could have gone past him.
That should have been 2-0 at that point. And, they've had 2 glorious opportunities there to make it 2-0. And if I'm being honest, I think they probably would have deserved to be 2-0. I think we were lucky to still be at 0-0 at that point. Maybe. I'm not sure there's really about it. But yeah, I 100%. They nearly scored after that chance. They crossed the ball in straight after, and they flashed a header wide, and they probably could have scored that one as well.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying when I listened to sort of Richie Wellens after with what he said, looking back and reading through my notes on the game. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. And I think they probably should have been out of sight by half time. But they weren't. And we'd held them, you know.
They weren't.
One thing I do remember from the first half, there wasn't much going on, but 25 minutes in, you got really excited because we had our first attack of the game. Nothing came of it, but I just remember you getting quite excited, and I was like, that is a little bit of a damning indictment on the game from a Wrexham point of view, of just how excited you got because we got into their half, I think. It was sort of like it was not just into
they were in the box
into their half. They
were in the box.
I'm not even sure they were. I think it was the final third, and you started to get a bit excited.
I did.
But yeah,
because usually that sort of moment, we usually convert it into a goal, but for some reason we didn't.
No, I know. I think we need to. We'll just have a little chat about George Dobson for a second.
Oh, Mr. Yellow.
Mr. Yellow. So
he loves his yellows.
He picked up his 4th yellow card in.
What's the
8? Oh, I'll come on to that now.
Okay.
4th yellow card in 8 games.
Right.
So he's getting booked in 50% of the games he plays in.
Yeah.
Which is a ridiculous statistic. It really is. I mean, we knew he liked a yellow card. Mm-hmm. And he looked really shocked when he got his yellow card on Saturday. I've got to be honest, I've no idea why, because it was a yellow card.
Yeah.
So, 4th yellow card in 8 games. He's now 1 away from a 1-game suspension.
I don't think he'll play the next game.
He needs, if he gets 1 more yellow card in the next 11 games, he will get a 1-game suspension.
He's going to get a 1-game suspension.
He is.
I can guarantee. Not sure which game, but he will get one.
If I was him, I'd just get booked now.
And get it over with.
Just get it over with. No, you can't do that, because then if you roll on to the next milestone after that,
it's a 2-game
ban. So so it just needs to. I think it's sort of a byproduct of his style. He gets stuck in.
Yeah.
His whole game is based around getting the ball back, winning the ball back quickly, and then getting the ball forward. Now, that first part of the way that he plays, unfortunately, results in the odd occasion mistiming it, or it's just about breaking up play. Sometimes breaking up play is a legal breakup of play, and that's just the way it is. So, we are going to miss him at some point.
Yeah.
For 1 game, that's going to happen.
Weird, isn't it? McLean used to be the famous yellow card receiver, but now it seems to have thrusted upon
the yellow card receiver.
I couldn't think what else to say.
Yeah.
And now George Dobson seems to be taking that crown.
Yeah, 0-0 at half time anyway. Happy?
Well, obviously I would have liked to have been up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for scores to go, I mean, you can't really, if you're not winning, you can't really, a draw going into half time is better than nothing. I think I'm just reiterate my stance. Lucky. I thought we were in that first half to be going in at 0-0. And I think it was at half time I sort of went, I'll take this. I'll take this now. If you just want to end it now, I'll take a 0-0. They definitely they definitely looked the better team. And I've just kept reminding myself of my sort of philosophy, which I've talked about on here before, and it is just win your home games. Concentrate on winning your home games, and then away from home, just pick up what you can. Point here, 3 points there, whatever it is. Just pick up what you can away from home. The aim for me is to win every home game. Will it happen? Probably not. But that's got to be the aim, hasn't it? Because if you win every single one of your home games, that's 69 points. Plus, on top of that, whatever you can pick up, you're right up there in the sort of playoffs and automatic promotion area based on winning all of your home games. And that for me has got to be. We have so far.
We have. I think, like I said, I think it was hard to judge anyone on that first half display just because of how little we really did anything. I think, like I said, Marriott, hard to judge. Didn't really see much from him, but I'm not sure
Is that because of him?
I'm not sure that was really because of him. Ollie's similar. I found it hard to judge him as well, based on what we'd seen, because we hadn't really seen anything. We had a comment at halftime from David Middleton. He said, Cannon looks disjointed. I'd like to see Revan slot in next to Barney to play overlaps. Disappointing not to see Moles, but expect to see him Tuesday. Prediction for the match 0-0. Well done, David. Or 1-1. This has draw written all over it. And it did.
Well predicted.
Well, that was at half-time, so he had a little bit of a head start on that one. But, yeah.
Well, you just never know, do you, with these games?
Second half, so Evans came on for Cannon.
I was out of the room at this point. I don't know what I was doing. Did he come on because
I don't know, because I missed this as well. I saw him there, and I was like, oh, Evans is on.
Yeah, hello.
But that sort of goes back to David, about Cannon. Cannon didn't look right on Saturday. I'm not sure what it was, but just something didn't feel right with him, if I'm perfectly honest. So we had Evans on. And then we jumped forward to 65 minutes because not a lot happened, to be honest. Mullin on for Marriott and Fletcher on for Palmer. It's very much a similar sort of way that Parky likes to do his subs, where he changes the front two. I don't think he's completely settled on what he wants to do. I'm not sure changing the front two was the right thing to do. I like the fact that he brought Evans on. And we'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. So that Kelman fizzed the shot wide, never really troubled Arthur. And then that's the point when we started to come into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Mullin sort of wriggled free. He was just about to pull the trigger, and great tackle.
So unlucky.
Yeah, he was. That was about 6 yards out. We really started to put him under some pressure, and I thought, maybe.
But why did we come alive in the last 30 minutes? Is that because Mullin came on?
Well, this is the question now, isn't it? Because when Mullin and Fletcher came on, we just looked a better team. And I think, for the way that Mullin presses, the sort of presence of somebody like Fletcher, it just completely changed the game dynamic. In hindsight, perhaps that's how we should have started.
With Fletcher and Mullin?
Maybe. But it's hard.
I'd like to see Fletcher starting.
Yeah, he just hasn't got a full game in him,
No,
has
he hasn't, but neither's Palmer.
Well, touche,
exactly.
Yeah, that's a very good point. But they definitely made an impact. There was like a huge scramble on about like 77-ish minutes as well. We had about 3 chances in 3 seconds.
Yeah, that was
so another one, and I thought it's coming. But the last 10 minutes for me always should be ours, because I think we are a lot fitter than 90% of teams out there.
Yeah?
Now, before anyone jumps on me, I'm not saying we're better than 90% of teams out there. I just think our fitness levels are really good. And I always think the last 10 minutes of games, we're in the ascendancy, we're the better team. And that always seems to be the case. And it was the same on Saturday. We had started being... Leyton Orient started to look a little bit leggy, I think, in the last 20 minutes. That coupled with the fact that we like the last sort of 20, 30 minutes of games anyway, because I just think that's a confidence thing, though, because of the fitness, we always seem to be on top in that last 20 minutes. So I think subconsciously the lads realise, oh, we're coming into the last 20 minutes. This is our time now. And I think a few things sort of combine to us being the better team in the last 20 minutes, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yes, I concur.
So anyway, let's talk about the main talking point from the game, because it certainly wasn't goals. So everyone sort of held their breath when Max went down. Didn't look great, because Max doesn't really go down. He's not the sort of player who goes down
for the sake of going down.
So ankle ligament damage is basically what Max has got. He went down. He couldn't really walk off unaided. He had 2 people help him off. And he's got ankle ligament damage.
I don't think for the whole time that I've been watching Max Clearworth, I don't think he's ever been out injured. He's been out, like, obviously being replaced by another player, but I don't think he's ever been injured.
But that's sort of how it should be for a young player, really. You shouldn't be getting too many injuries, but it does happen. But no, Max isn't really one of them players who gets that. No, do you know what ankle ligament damage is?
Damage to the ligaments in your ankle.
Thank you for that, Dr. Shan.
Thank you.
So it can be a range.
I'm here all day.
It can be a range of things.
Yeah.
It can.
Can it be serious and not so serious?
Yes. So I think a sort of ankle sprain would come under because a sprain is like a stretching of ligaments.
Yeah.
So that would potentially be classed as damaged ligaments. If there's a doctor out there watching this, please feel free to comment. But I think, so that's your lower end, couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, something like that. But then you've got the upper end where you've got serious sort of, you can even go as far as, you need surgery on that. I think that is a very big window that I'm sort of creating there. But
let's hope he's in the
lower half, it might be. It's hard to say. I think maybe the norm is 6 to 7 weeks.
But it would be nice, instead of them saying, he's got ligament damage.
Oh, sorry, I nearly kicked the camera over then. I do apologise.
I wondered what that was. That was a bit scary. They could just say, he's just sprained his ankle.
Yeah, but they're not really gonna. They're not really going to put all their eggs in one basket and release straight away without him sitting down with a doctor, getting assessed and doing all that normal stuff, are they? They're not going to do that.
No.
So, look, huge blow.
Really
I think
big
for
blow.
me, but I'll read out some comments from people in a minute. But Dan Scar came in.
Yeah. Seasoned player.
Yeah, look, if you want a replacement, you've got a replacement. And he stepped in. If anything else were to happen, we've got Lewis Brunt as well. Young lad, but can play. So we've got cover there. We're all right.
Yeah.
But
still a blow though.
It's a huge blow. I would say. I'm gutted for him, really, and I hope he doesn't miss too much of the season because he's had a fantastic start to the season. I think it was one of them games.
Are you taking really big, deep inhales?
Because I'm talking so much, I need to get the air inside me.
You just sound like you're hyperventilating.
Well, it's just thinking about Max, really. I'm okay. It's fine. I'm not going to cry. You're going to cry. Shut up. Anyway, it was one of them games Saturday where I never really felt out of my seat.
No. I did, because I screamed.
My rear was well and truly planted into the sofa, and I didn't feel at any point, that sort of, that you're going to get up and go, that one. Yeah. I would call the episode that.
How do you write that down?
Don't know. No idea. Shame you can't do a voice note for a name. I think on paper, before the game, based on league positions, possibly a game that we now look back at and go, disappointed not to have won.
Yeah.
But football's not played on paper, is it? And it's not just about league positions. They have got a little bit of a momentum behind them. They had a great win at Stockport. They beat Shrewsbury. They got a really good draw against Peterborough. They're no slouches. It's not like they're rooted to the bottom of the table. They've just had a poor start to the season, which they have now started to turn around. So, it's...
Shame for us.
A little bit of a shame for us, yeah, but it's one of them. They're now unbeaten in 4 after Saturday, so it's not like they've gone lose. Oh, we'll turn it up for Wrexham, and they restrict us and they get a point out of the game. Unbeaten in 4, so
that could be the last of it though.
That could be, but who knows? You know, they look like they're on the right track now, and I would say they're a very solid mid-table team, Leyton Orient. That's where I think they're going to end up this season. It was our 5th clean sheet of the season.
Yes.
We dropped to 2nd, unfortunately, behind Birmingham.
Oh, and didn't Birmingham fans love that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
Do you know what? Can I just say something? I'm sure this is the case for every team, but there are some really, really nice Birmingham fans.
Yeah.
But there are some real turd bags as well. Like, we keep getting a message off this one. I'm not even going to mention his name because I can't even be bothered.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not even going to repeat what he said. But
okay,
it's just, I'm
great
just saying,
TV.
No, what I'm just saying is, it's like, have a bit of, you know, I don't think, we're not the type of people, our podcast isn't for calling people out, and even though I just called you turd bags. But no, there are some people who... I
like a bit of banter, though.
Yes.
As long as it doesn't get nasty, I'm all for it. I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
just stop being such a sensitive little flower.
But I
want other fans to come in and give us a bit of grief, and then we can give a little bit of grief back.
Yeah, but every time I give someone grief for being horrible...
Because you can't do banter. You're terrible at banter. Let me do the banter, because somebody comes in with a little bit of banter, light-hearted banter, and you go in on them. And so they'd be sitting there going, but yeah, I was only having a laugh with them, like... You're heavy. You're too heavy. You need to dull down your banter.
They need to put some context into their messages, because sometimes it's that...
You go all out at people sometimes, though. You really do.
I get protected.
Protective,
sorry.
Yeah, I know. But sometimes it's banter. Sometimes it's people just being idiots. You just got to recognise which one.
I can't.
No, I know you can't. That's the problem.
Whether you're being an idiot or just banting with me, I just don't know.
Yeah, anyway, so Birmingham were 2-0 down on Saturday, and they came back to win 3-2. Blackpool won. I think it was their 4th game in a row they won, so they're right up there in the mix. Huddersfield lost, which is good for us. They're sort of dropping away a little bit, but they're still in the top half. Bolton have started winning now, right, eventually, so they're up there. Sort of opponents for the coming week. Stevenage won, Northampton lost, so that's quite handy for us. Stockport drew 1-1 as well. Barnsley. Barnsley. That was the late game on Saturday. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Did you have a man of the match from Saturday? I know there wasn't one announced, obviously, because we weren't at home. But do you have one?
Not really.
No. Just move on then?
Yeah.
All right then.
It's hard to
choose
a man of the match.
Yeah. A few comments from after the game. Peter, I'd trade the point for Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true. Adam Cruz, I really hope Max's ankle isn't as bad as it looks. Blair, unfortunately, I think Max is out for a while. What does your back three look like?
Scar, O'Connor.
Yeah, I'd say so, probably. Blair.
Shift him around a bit, though, I reckon.
Yeah.
You said that Scar's like a middleman.
He is like a middleman.
He's the middleman.
He is. I think he's played predominantly most of his career in the middle of a back three. Mm-hmm. So I think Owen O'Connell's been fantastic in the middle of that back three. The reason I think Owen's going to have to move is his downfall is his versatility, unfortunately for him. The fact that he can play anywhere in that back three means that probably he's the one that's going to have to move. So I think Dan Scar will probably go in the middle. Not as mobile as the others. Very much a big man. Go on, I dare you, stick it in the box. I'm going to header it away.
I worry.
That sort of defender.
I do worry because obviously Paul Mullen was out, Marriott was in. For like the first few games of the season.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
I worry that
Dan Scar's going to be an absolute beast.
And Max is going to struggle to get back in again. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think that must have crossed Max's mind when he went down. He must have thought, oh, Christ.
Yeah, maybe. Look, it's hard. it's hard to know what's going to happen. But
I hope Scar does do well, but
it's a possibility, isn't it? That, if Dan Scar comes in, he's played all of last season. He was in the Championship, right? So he has played at a step up, and he's going to come in now, and he's going to be all these players who are on the fringes. Very much, and we talked about this in our live. It is very much a squad game for Wrexham. We don't have a set starting 11. We don't mind bringing people in and taking people out. But there is that chance that Dan Scar's going to come in because he's sitting on the fringes. They're all going to be like
biting at the bit.
Yeah, waiting to get into that team.
Is that the right saying that I just said?
Chomping.
I always say biting at the bit. I'm sure that's a saying.
I say chomping at the bit. I don't know.
All right.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right then.
I think they're waiting to get in, and I think they're all ready to go. And I think Dan Scar's going to want to show everyone. He has played in a few of the Mickey Mouse Cup games and all that sort of stuff, but
he wants to prove himself.
He wants to prove.
Games.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He wants to show everyone what he can do, and he'll want to come in, on Tuesday night, and he'll want to keep a clean sheet. First and foremost, it does nothing fancy. Keep a clean sheet. Decent, solid performance. That's what he'll want. The likelihood is then he will be in again on Saturday. Again, the aim is going to be that clean sheet. Show that, yes, we all miss Max, but he'll want to stand up and go, you don't need to miss him too much. Don't worry, I'm here. That's what he's going to want, though, isn't he?
The Scar Man.
Yeah. The Scar Man. But he's going to want... He's going to want to... This sounds harsh, but he's going to want to come in and make the Wrexham fans forget about Max a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if you
Max.
No, but if you come in and you're sort of like, yeah, he's all right. Everyone's still going to be going, how long's Max going to be? Wait, is Max going to be long? Has anyone got an update on Max? How long's he going to be? This Dan Scar, not quite up to it. But if he's putting in performance after performance, potentially we're not going to be asking that question. I'm not, but it's possible, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Look, think, at this moment in time, the thought of us not missing Max is unthinkable. It is absolutely unthinkable.
It's like my child.
Right, but go back 9 months, yeah, and how unthinkable was it that Paul Mullin wouldn't be playing and we wouldn't necessarily be missing him as much.
Yeah.
And you asking the question of, where, who do we go with? Do we go with Jack or do we go with Paul? I mean, you never would have thought that 9 months ago, would you? No. That it would be a really tight call between them two. But that's where we're at. So you just don't know what's going to happen.
No, we shall see. Watch this space.
We shall see.
Chaz said, Chaz said, doesn't seem like we started to play until the last 30 minutes. Yeah, I agree with that. It was a bit of a...
Yeah, but I think we've pretty much covered that off.
Leo Bernard, man, I miss George Evans' play. Curious if Evans and Dobson can play together.
So, we talked about this a little bit on the live. Now, it's a difficult one because I think very similar to the sort of Mullin and Palmer sort of situation where you have one big man who performs a function, then you have one smaller man who performs a function. It's similar to that, the way that Parky likes to play in the midfield. You'll have a Dobson / Evans-esque player who performs a specific function, winning the ball back, sitting a little bit deeper and, being progressive and getting the ball forward. You then also have a midfielder similar to like JJ or Andy Cannon, who is a little bit more forward thinking, but does a lot more sort of running, chasing the ball down, closing things down than the deeper lying defender. And then you've got Elliot, who was pretty much on his own as the sort of forward, very forward midfielder. So it's sort of like you one out of Dobson and Evans, one out of Cannon and JJ, as an example, and then one out of Elliot Lee and nobody else, which is why he plays every game. Oh, sorry, mics went off then. A little bit, was that me? Sorry. So that's sort of your that's pretty much one from each one of them sections. So I wouldn't necessarily say that Evans and Dobson would play together, if I'm perfectly honest, because they very much perform the same function. They did on Saturday for a little bit, and
that was out of necessity, maybe.
Yeah, and if we need to, possibly. But that would be not for me.
No. And we have David Ketley, who said Mullen should start from now on. He is much better on the press.
Yeah, I think he presses a lot better than Marriott does. I'm not saying he's a better player, but he does press a lot better, and he's got a lot more running in him. They both run the channels really well. So I'm not too fussed about that, but I do think he's better at pressing the ball. Yeah, I would agree with that one.
Yeah, John Price has said decent point. Bring on Stevenage.
Yeah, we just
kiss.
Yeah, you just gotta sort of wipe your mouth and move on.
I hate that saying.
Well, you do.
Just wipe your eyes, mate.
Wipe your eyes.
Dry your eyes. Wipe your eyes.
Who are you saying dry your eyes to?
Dry your eyes, mate.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Just thought I'd
say it.
Say it.
Try and get us a copyright strike by singing songs. Yay!
I mean, you couldn't really call that singing, could you?
Look, Chaz basically he sent a message going, "Does our midfield seem off to you?" So I wanted to sort of address
this. Discuss this.
It sort of, but I wanted to focus a little bit more on Elliot Lee.
The Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger, yeah, definitely. And there's been quite a few comments online and comments at the games when we've been at the games as well going, Elliot Lee's not really doing anything. What's going on with Elliot Lee? He's not really on it. And that's happened a few times this season. So I just wanted to sort of bring him up. And I think the problem is sometimes every player has an off day. Mm-hmm. I think potentially Elliot had a little bit of an off day on Saturday. He wasn't the only one, so I'm not singling him out as being a problem. But it does, it has come up quite a bit. Potentially, let's just go back to that point I just made, where you've got one out of these two you'd pick, one out of these two you'd pick, and then you've got Elliot all on his own.
Yeah.
So you don't really have too many backup options in that area to give Elliot a break or to pull him off after 60 minutes or 65 or 70 minutes and let somebody else have a crack at it, like a Jordan Davis, who would sit very much in that role if he was here, which he's not. Even if he was, he's injured anyway. But, we don't really seem to have
He only got injured
backup.
when he played for the other team. He might not have been injured when he was here.
No, that is true. You've got Ollie Rathbone as well, to throw into that mix. I would sort of put Ollie Rathbone in the Andy Cannon JJ pot of players, as opposed to in the Elliot Lee or George Dobson pot of players. I think it's quite difficult for Elliot. This not so much this season, last season. We all know he played every single game pretty much. He was
a bit tired.
I think he was. A
bit tired.
Is he struggling though to be effective at League One level, in your opinion?
In my opinion, no.
Okay.
I just think, because I don't know how to put this, because we've obviously been playing quite well, haven't we? Until we went to Birmingham and we just fell apart.
Yeah.
So I can't criticise him really for the games that he's played.
No.
But like he said, players have off days. And I know that players shouldn't bring their personal lives to the field. But you don't know what's going on with himself. So you don't know whether that's affecting him.
No, that's true.
So yeah, this is why I don't like singling out players, because I just think nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors.
No, you don't. I think sometimes as well, though, it can be tricky for players after such a quick rise. Now, Elliot has played at this level before, right? So I don't think he's struggling with the quality, but I think sometimes you adapt to your surroundings a little bit. So he dropped down to the National League, and he was obviously fantastic. And, you know, because you're playing against a certain level of player. And then all of a sudden, bang, you're in League Two. And then you adjust, and then you're playing against a slightly better level of player.
Bang, you're in League One.
And then bang, yeah, exactly, you're in League One. So
bang, bang.
I think sometimes with such a rapid rise, sometimes maybe it can be a little bit difficult to adjust a little bit to your play style, and what maybe worked 2 years ago in the National League maybe doesn't work anymore, and you've got to adapt and change, and sometimes, you know, I think people have to remember it's just the case of that good players will always find a way.
Yeah.
And I think
it's not as if he sits back at every game. He does, you know, he does give it, but he's just.
I just wanted to address him a little bit because
people have been commenting so much.
There have been little comments here and there on social media, and at the games, everyone's a manager. That's the thing. And I know you said you don't like singling players out, so let's single another one out. James McLean.
Oh, not my James McLean.
Look, he got a few crosses in on Saturday. Yeah, great, okay, that's all well and good. Now, in the last part of the game, for me, when you start, I worry that Parky might have painted himself into a corner a little bit by making him captain, and he sort of feels like he doesn't want to bring him off as often as maybe he should be. He did against Birmingham, I get that, you know, and he does, if he 100% feels he needs to. I felt like Saturday was a day when he should have brought him off. I think as we started to get into that game, and we were on top. No, not so much. But he's not going to offer the threat that I think we needed in the last 20 minutes of that game.
Do you not think?
No, I think the threat in the last 20 minutes should have been coming from Revan. With his pace, his ability to get round the outside, getting balls into the box. I think that was the change to make. For me, that was the change that they should have been making. Seb should have come on, and McLean should have gone off. Look, I know there's an element of, you know, you can only make so many subs, and some people have to miss out, and you know, and all that sort of stuff. I get that, but the game was crying out for Seb in the last 20 minutes on Saturday. So I was a little bit. How do you feel if you're Seb now, though? Because if I'm looking at that game going, he'd be perfect for this last 20 minutes now. Is Seb sitting on the bench going, I'd be perfect for this last 20 minutes now? And at what point do the players start to get a little bit annoyed with it all? I know it's a team game. And I dare say that when players sign, they have a big conversation about this is a squad game, not a team game. I'm sure they have that conversation. But at what point does that get annoying?
Depends. I think it depends what you like. If you're a seasoned player like McLean, then maybe it's not, and Fletcher, it's not so much of an issue. But if you're young and you want to be out there and you want to be playing every single minute of the 90-minute game.
And if you're young and you've dropped down leagues to take this opportunity.
You want to be playing.
Yeah,
I can understand their frustration. But like we always say, Parky has his methods, and unfortunately they do seem to be right most of the time. So
yeah, well, we'll wait and see.
Well, we will see,
Few more comments from.
This is that one I was talking to you about before.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Just in from last week's show. A few comments. Ron Cawthron. Just joining. I have never been a fan of having second teams. And being a Sheffield Wednesday fan since conception, I'm changing a habit of a lifetime. Maybe you should change buy me a coffee to get me a brew.
Oh, that was it. Get me a brew.
Maybe.
But it's not our company, so we can't change it,
yeah.
Unfortunately.
Joe Swift, good content, but you seem to be putting a
This
lot
is
of
the guy
emphasis.
I was talking about before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of emphasis on being top of the league at this early part of the season. You'll have to dismiss any notion of keeping hold of that top spot because we all know who's going to win the league. Joe's a Birmingham fan. For anybody who doesn't,
I'm sure they wouldn't have got that.
No, but I like Joe's comments. If I'm honest, keep them coming, Joe. I think to sort of address this a little bit. Yeah, we have put a lot of emphasis on being top of the league. We're not top anymore. We all know you are, Joe. But I think for us, I think it's important to celebrate the successes. So if you go a week and you're top of the league after that week, you go celebrate that. That's good. That's decent. Go another week, top of the league, celebrate that. That's good. That's decent. And I think as a football fan, sometimes it's very easy to focus on the negative stuff that surrounds your club.
Yep.
He didn't play very well. That wasn't a good performance. And sometimes that's fine if that's how you want to be as a fan and you want to moan at this guy hasn't played very well, this guy's had a nightmare, this guy's give the ball away. That's fine. Every fan's entitled to their opinion. But I think on the flip side of that, if you do want to talk about that sort of stuff, you've got to celebrate the positive stuff as well. So what
sort of fan would you be if you didn't celebrate the fact that you were top of the league?
Yeah, it's look, and it's not about celebrating it like you've won the league.
No, it's just.
But it's celebrating it week in, week out. We're top of the league. We're doing well.
Taking the positives.
And we're going in the right direction.
Yes.
So I think
that's why he annoyed me.
Yeah, but he did. No, he was just having a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, with you maybe.
Stop being so sensitive. But yeah, I think we're always going to celebrate them little things. And Joe,
be ashamed of it.
No, and do you know what, Joe? You're probably right. And I think from the performances I've seen, there maybe is only one team that's going to win this league, and I think they are going to push on. But we're going to give it a good go every single week, and if you slip up, hopefully we're there right behind you.
Yeah,
and
bring
that's
it on, Joe.
God.
Baines, you guys, is that Sean Baines?
It is, yeah.
Oh, it says Lizzie. You guys make Monday bearable. Keep up the fab work. I just know she messages another message, and I didn't know that was her name.
Yeah. JPH, another sublime episode. Siân, when he gives you grief on the quizzes, as he invariably does, just remind him that as far as league predictions go, you're top of the table. Cheers from Boston.
See, I replied to that and said, unfortunately, I didn't read your message right, JPH, because I messaged you back and I said, unfortunately, we are neck and neck. But I've just realised you just said the league, so yes, I am winning. Thank you for bringing it up.
But if we want to do it like that, in the cup competitions, I'm in the lead, aren't I? So if you want to swing it...
Cup games can't get you promoted.
Bloody, the mics keep going off again. Weird
Oh, it's because we're waving our hands about.
Maybe. Or it's maybe you're just too loud.
We're going to get in trouble by Lawrence when we go to the game on next Saturday for waving our hands about. Sorry. Our favourite steward.
Yeah, look, if you do want to get in touch, you can get in touch on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. Anyone else? No? Or you can email us at wrexhamafc@gmail.com.
I think that's enough for me to get on with, isn't it?
Yeah. Quick, very, very quick update about the Fantasy EFL. In first place this week is Gareth Jackson. Second is Kay Gulliford. You'd have to let us know what your first name is there. And third, just a quick point about this one. Third is Susan Jones.
We are sorry.
We are sorry, Susan.
We are sorry.
So last week we were looking at it as S. Jones. and we were going, oh, maybe it's Steve, maybe it's Simon. You said Sebastian.
Yeah.
She messaged, no, Susan.
Yeah, so we're
Susan
really
from
sorry.
Australia.
We should never, ever assume.
No.
Should we? Ever assume.
Never.
And I am so glad it's Susan, because she's doing it for the girls.
She is. Look, a quick one. The way Susan got in touch, this is something for everybody who listens to the show as a podcast, not on YouTube. So if you listen to this as a podcast, where the description of the episode is, at the bottom there, you will notice a little sort of thing that says message the show. That's been there for a while and I keep forgetting to bring it up. So if you click that while you're listening to the podcast, you can actually send a text into the show. But yeah, so if you want to do that, one thing I would always say though is you just need to put your name on it. We got one a couple of weeks ago that said, oh, I love the show, but they didn't actually put their name on there, so we can't actually say
But
who
if you're
it
out
was.
there, thanks.
But yeah, so if you listen to the podcast wherever it is, Spotify, Apple, wherever, then you can click that little thing at the bottom of the description that says message the show, and you can send us a text. So there we go.
Boom. Should we talk about Stevenage first?
Yeah. Cause, well, I've just moved on from the fancy EFL because I didn't.
I did notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a message from Christian, and he sent us a picture, and Ryan's not where he is. Like, he's fourth, which is not bad.
Who?
He's fourth. You're somewhere.
Doesn't
below,
Doesn't matter
below
where I
him.
am. Look, doesn't matter where I am.
Keep going, Christian. You can do it.
Let's just move on.
So we have got Stevenage on Tuesday, and we're away, and they are 9th in the league at the moment, and we're away at the Lamex Stadium.
Yeah. Lamex, yeah.
They've got a capacity of 7,800, and we've had a ticket allocation of 1,363.
Just this week, just to let you know, Siân has actually done all the notes for this. Because we were so busy, we've reallocated some jobs within the podcast. Siân's done it. So Siân's done it, and I'm just going to jump in because Siân has read her own notes wrong, which is really nice that she just doesn't read my notes wrong. Stevenage are not 9th in the league. It is our 9th league
That's what
game
I meant.
of the season.
That's what it said.
God.
No, they're actually 11th. in the league table. Yeah, sorry. It's the 9th league game of the season. It's on Tuesday, the 1st of October. So they won on Saturday against Charlton at home. And their season stats so far are 1-3, drawn 2, lost 3. And then, like I said just now, their league position is 11th. Do you want to read this next bit?
Yeah, I can do if you like, love. Yeah.
Look at my brilliant notes.
Founded in 1976, and they play in red. The nickname is the Borough. They used to be Stevenage Borough, basically. That's why they're called that.
Yeah.
They're 170 miles away. It's about 3.25 hours.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I know you put 0.2
Well,
on
they've
it.
got. I've got to be. It's 170.2 miles away.
It's down in Hertfordshire anyway. They finished 9th in League One last season. There is a 9th in there for you.
Yeah.
They promoted from League Two in the 22-23 season after finishing 2nd.
Have you checked all these stats?
No, have I?
Oh, so if they're wrong, it's my fault, not Ryan's.
Yeah, our last game against them was a 1-0 defeat in February 2010 in the National League at the Racecourse. Last away game against them was a 0-0 draw in October 2009. Top scorer last season was Jamie Reid. So, predictions.
I'm gonna go. Let me do a little song while I find.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Once again, apologies about any mic issues that we've been having this week. We are changing the setup because this is doing my head in, but there we go. I have noticed it's gone off a few times.
And I want new mics. So.
Yeah, we're getting new mics. So
and new seats and everything. We're proper changing it up.
Yeah, I am going for 1-0 Wrexham. For Stevenage?
I'm going to go 2-1. No, 2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
Okay.
I'm going to go clean sheet.
We are also playing Northampton Town, which according to Siân's notes is also the 9th league game of the season, but I'm going to guess that it's the 10th.
Why?
Because Stevenage is the 9th. It's been a disaster.
Yeah, I can't be trusted to do things ever.
It's at home at the Stoke Kairas.
I was so proud of myself as well for getting all the information. I was like so proud.
No, look, you can have another stab at it next week. Have another stab next week.
Cock it up again next week.
Saturday, the 5th of October, they lost 2-0 at home to Mansfield on Saturday. They've won 2, drawn 2, lost 3 this season, and they are currently 17th in the league. They were founded in 1887, and they play in yellow and maroon.
It's like a mustardy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Amber, I think, is it?
Yeah,
but it's mainly like a maroon, though, isn't
yeah.
The nickname's the Cobblers.
Well, it's actually the Cobbler Shoe Army or something like that. But
that's the fans. So the club are the Cobblers.
Oh, okay.
The fans are the Cobblers Army or whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes more sense.
They finished 14th in League One last season. They were promoted from League Two in the playoffs in 2020.
Our last game against them was a 1-0 defeat in February 2006 in League Two. Only ever played them twice, and we drew the other 0-0.
It's mad, that, isn't it? You've only ever played them twice. It's mad.
It is mad. So we've never beat them. So, Saturday even. They finished second in the league that season, and we finished 13th. Their top scorer last season was Sam Hoskins with 15 goals.
Is he still there?
He is still there.
Yep.
Yep, I checked that.
Okay. Predictions?
I've got 2-0. You can go 2-0 as well.
No, because that's no, I'm not having that one.
Do you know what I think we should do? I think we should do all of our predictions.
No, because you can't do that, can you? Because you don't know what form you're in and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that makes it more fun.
I'm going to go for 2-1 then, as you've stolen my 2-0.
Coolio and the gang.
Just a quick shout out for Dragon Chat. It's a mental health peer support group. They run weekly Zoom calls. They do one on a Monday at 8 p.m. and that is for women, and they do one on a Thursday at 7 p.m. and that is for men. Best thing to do is follow Steve Lloyd on Twitter, which is at DragonChat WXMFC for more information. If you do want to jump on the calls and you're watching us on YouTube, have a look down in the description. All the details of how to get on that Zoom call are there. Easy.
Oh,
that's my stomach.
You hungry?
I don't know. I'm looking.
Do you need another curly whirly?
Yeah, maybe. If there is, I don't know. Is curly whirlies a global thing?
Oh, I don't know.
No, just for anyone who's it just sounds a bit weird. Do you need another curly whirly? Just to clarify,
chocolate.
It's a chocolate bar in the UK. I'm not sure they're worldwide, because that could be interpreted as something very different. Do you need another curly whirly, love? Yeah, it's a chocolate bar.
It's
in
not
the
an
UK.
affectionate word for something else.
No, just Google it if you're not sure what they are. Well, there we go. Look, it's quiz time.
What were you going to say? You're looking forward to what?
Oh, no, you asked me if I was hungry, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to dinner tonight.
Why?
Because you're making chili.
Have you got the mince out?
I have indeed.
Oh, damn! Jim!
I knew that was going to be an excuse, so I made sure I got it out earlier on.
I hate cooking. Right, anyway, quiz time.
Yes, quiz time. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So, we play Northampton on Saturday.
We do.
Can you name the only other EFL club with North in their name? There are no options, for obvious reasons.
Because there's only one.
There is only one. So
North?
The word North, yeah.
Okay. North. Oh, my Christ. I've got to go through all the teams now.
Well, I'd maybe suggest not going through all the teams. Because it's...
I can't think of any teams. My mind's just gone completely blank.
What, just can't think of any teams? All right, it is tricky.
EFL, yeah? So it could be League 1 and 2.
And the Championship.
Oh, Christ, I don't know any Championship teams. Yeah. Just chat for a minute.
I'll just... Pad and Phil?
Yeah, Pad and Phil.
Pad and Phil.
Who's Pad and Phil?
I don't know.
Well, Phil's your dad.
Come on.
I can't think.
No. You've had long enough, I think. It's Preston.
Oh, Preston North End.
Yes.
I never would have got that.
No, I know. That's why I've sort of sped
That's
you up
really
a little bit.
mean. That is really mean.
You knew it though. It's not like you didn't know it. When I said Preston, you went, oh yeah, Preston North End.
Yeah, but nobody calls it that though. Anyway, crack on.
2. Which of the following is an anagram of a Leyton Orient player who started the game on Saturday? Number 1, Double Brandy. Number 2, Minicab Doll. Number 3, Wagtail Dogman. Or number 4, Enjoy Me Now.
2.
Minicab Doll? It is Minicab Doll, yeah.
Surname's Ball.
Yeah, Dominic Ball. Well done.
Do you know what? I went watching the highlights and I was looking at all the different players.
Well,
I knew
yeah.
you were going to ask me a question about them.
Well, you were
'Cause
right.
You always do.
You were right, and you got it right. So,
Thank you.
well done. Question 3. We play Stevenage on Tuesday, but which of the following people were born in Stevenage? Anthony Joshua, Gary Lineker, Lewis Hamilton, or Johnny Wilkinson?
Well, what's his name? Joe Wilkinson, definitely not.
Johnny Wilkinson, not Joe
Oh,
Wilkinson.
I was thinking of the comedian.
Yeah, Johnny Wilkinson, the rugby player.
Oh, let's go for the last one because I can't think.
Incorrect, it's Lewis Hamilton.
I hate him.
Okay, all right then.
He's just a bit arrogant, isn't he? I don't like arrogant people.
What's an interesting point, that, isn't it? Arrogance in sport. Because I don't know if I quite like an arrogant sportsman.
Because you are.
Am I?
No, not with me, you're not.
I don't know. I think sometimes when you're the best, a slight little bit of arrogance is okay.
No,
Maybe.
it's not.
I know most people say, look, stay humble.
Exactly.
All that sort of stuff. But sometimes, because I think I look at sportsmen as a little bit of almost like a character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know. I think I'm just thinking of, do you know Zava in...
Ted Lasso.
In Ted Lasso,
Yeah.
who 100% was modelled on Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
I don't know who that is.
Well, it just was. Honestly, Google him and then Google's that. What are we talking about
I think
here?
Jamie Tart was...
Jack Grealish?
Yeah, definitely,
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right,
quiz!
We deviate. Saturday's opponents, Northampton, are nicknamed the Cobblers. But which of these other professions is an actual nickname of an English Football League club? Just to clarify, not necessarily for you, but for everyone watching, by English Football League, I mean Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2. Okay? Nothing below that. So, the Dockers, the Millers, the Hoopers, or the Tanners?
The Millers.
It is the Millers. I'll give you a bonus
Millwall.
point. No, I'll give you a bonus point if you can tell me which team it was. It's not Millwall.
I have no idea.
It's Rotherham.
Yeah,
Okay. 5. There are 5 points on offer here.
Oh, it's going to be a toughie then.
How many have you got so far? Just out of interest. You got Minicab Doll.
Yeah.
You didn't get the North one.
No.
You didn't get the Stevenage one. You got the Millers. You got 2. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. 5 points on offer. Okay.
Yep.
On Saturday, we kept our 5th clean sheet of the season.
Yep.
But can you name the 5 teams who have scored at least 1 goal against us in all competitions this season? A point for each.
Okay, so what can we run?
You could just shout them out. Shout them out when you get them. Don't shush.
Salford.
Correct.
Birmingham.
Correct.
Bolton.
Incorrect.
Oh no, that was. Oh, I thought that was a 1-1 draw. I'm trying to think where we've played.
Salford and Birmingham you've got so far.
And there's 5.
There is 5, yes.
Reading.
Incorrect. That was 3-0. I'm not going to
Crawley.
Correct. I'll let you have 1 more because you have had 2 incorrect, so that technically should be the end. But
Shrewsbury.
no, that was 3-0 as well.
Oh, Christ, get lost.
Opening game of the season?
Wycombe Wanderers.
Yeah.
I thought that was 3-0.
3-2.
Was it?
Yeah.
Why do I think... That's why I just... Oh,
The other one,
don't care.
it's a tough one, this one, because I think even I forgot about this one. Sheffield United.
Yeah, we always put Sheffield United to the back of our minds, don't we?
Yeah, a little bit. So, yeah, there we go.
Well, that's it for another week. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening, watching, wherever you are. We hope you have an amazing week, and we'll see you next week on Monday.
Bye.